do for you guys. I want to thank you everybody for coming to our installation dinner. We really, truly appreciate it. And I'm going to ask the following ladies to please come up here and join me. Mrs. Carolyn Black, Nicole Corazzi. They don't know they're being called either, so. Okay. Laura Kelly, Sarah Berry, and Lorraine Berry. Carrie Wigbrader, Stephanie Warnack, Kat Petrosky, Courtney Fink, Lizzie, Brooks, sorry, Michelle Others, Marissa Walker. These girls have no idea why I called them up here today. I really felt this was very important for all of you to be up here. I'll wait for everybody to get there. I wanted to recognize each and every one of you for the love and support you give to your husbands and your children, for the people who have children involved as well, for their service in helping others. Mrs. Black, I especially asked you up here because of all the wonderful service you've given to Maplewood Fire as your secretary. We really, truly just appreciate it. This installation dinner is not only to honor our volunteer firefighters, but we cannot honor them without honoring these ladies up here. They give all the love and support to our firefighters. And without that, we would not have such dedicated volunteers. I know what it's like to be on both sides. I've gone on calls and assisted. I know the importance of what our volunteers do for our community. But I've also been the wife left at home when my husband had to go on a call with a house full of guests. And of course, I have to stay behind. But I truly know the sacrifice that each one of you ladies give for your husbands and children to be involved in the volunteer fire department. And it's not only for the calls, but you also have to put aside time for our training. And we have to do the training because the training is to ensure our volunteers have the highest probability to come home safe to you ladies. So again, I deeply say thank you. And remember, we are our children's and our husbands' biggest cheerleaders and supporters. I would like to present you with a small token of my appreciation by giving you a plaque to help you through those times when your heart sinks a little and sometimes a lot when those calls come in. And also, it's a way to count your blessings. The plaque that I'm presenting to you is a little thing that lights up. And it has the fireman's prayer on it, and I'd like to read it. It's the fireman's wife's prayer, I should say. Lord, I thank you for my husband, the firefighter that I love. Give me the strength to give him support with your guidance from above. My husband once more is called away with hopes of keeping another mother's child safe. Our plans have gone awry. The first impulse is merely to sit down and cry. But I soon realized the importance of my life when I agreed to take the duties of being a fireman's wife. While there are many drawbacks, I'll take them in stride, knowing God put me in his life to stand proudly by his side and give him the support and love no other can for the bravery and courage to help others. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the strength and honor of being a firefighter's wife. Amen. So I'd like to each give you his gifts. And I want to, again, thank you so much for putting up with us. You guys are really the biggest support of our volunteers. Thank you.
Ain't she something? What a catch. I didn't hear that before, and it really moved me. And it is true. We couldn't do what we do without the women behind us, and to support our families, keep things going when we're out on a call. And I want to say a couple things. 624 calls responded to in 2025. You know how many of those calls that the public expected somebody that was professional and well-trained and equipped to handle? 624. The unrealistic expectations that the public has. Nowadays you see so much stuff with AI, social media, stuff that's put out there. It used to be television programs like Emergency and the movie Backdraft. Everybody's seen that, where a fireman jumps from fire escape to fire escape with his gear on. And, but you knew it was entertainment. But now, with artificial intelligence and stuff, you're starting to see more and more stuff be doctored up, what you actually see, and especially our young people, our young firemen, and even not just here, but in the business world. If you go out, the stuff is being doctored, and it's being done in a way where they're doing it so it's easy to tell, but I think that's the trap, to kind of desensitize you to seeing it and becoming familiar with it, to where you're like, oh yeah, okay. And they're changing stuff that you have to be very careful. Everything that we do on the fire ground nowadays it used to be cell phone cameras, now it's overhead drones are taking pictures before the fire truck even arrives, live video. Every single move we make is under the microscope, more than ever. And we just have to be diligent in what we do, in the way that we're prepared to respond to incidents, the way that we train, the way that we communicate, the way that we act. Every home has home security cameras anymore, and you don't realize you could be standing in the driveway of somebody else's house for an incident that's across the street, and they could hear you talking about something, and that could go viral. So we have to be, every step of our life, we have to be conscious of what we're doing, and it's so important to share that professionally as a company, because that's what we want. That is our goal, to be a well-run, well-organized company. We have to remember, things started out with the axe, and then it went to the chainsaw. Now we have battery-powered tools, and the technology changes, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we also have to remember where we came from. We still have an axe if the chainsaw won't start. And I say that to say, like, remember where we came from. All of us in the way that we work. Vince Lombardi, who was a Hall of Fame football coach from another generation, he said, perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we will catch excellence. And the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. And that has to be the goal. That when we go out, every single time we train, we show up at the firehouse for everything that we do, that we're working hard to be the best organization that we can be. Ladies and gentlemen, the success in your organization and even your own personal life, it comes down to your personality and who you are. You want to show up early, show up on time, stay off your phone, and work hard. Those are life lessons that'll take you, not just in the fire service, but in your career, in your personal life, in your relationships, all those things. There's all areas that we can do better at. My grandmother used to say, when you're pointing the finger at somebody else, remember these 3 fingers are pointing back at you. So when we go to a call, we want to make sure you have all your gear on, right? You just had 5 minutes let's say it's 2 in the morning. By the time you get out of bed, you get to the firehouse, and you're riding in that fire truck to get to the scene, right? You've had 5 minutes at least to get your stuff on, your hood, your mask, all that stuff. There's so much stuff out there. You see the house is burning, the fire truck rolls up, because we have the video cameras that are everywhere. And people get off the truck. Okay, the house is burning. Now I don't know what takes so long to get the hose up to the front door. Now we're going to drop to our knees and put their mask on. If there's a kid in that house, how long do you think she has? People say, well, it takes 15 seconds for me to put my mask on, and I have to have my situational awareness. If you're an officer riding the officer seat, you can have the situational awareness. If you're a worker that's in the jump seat of that fire truck, have your stuff together and be ready to go to work. If that line needs to be flaked out, move with purpose. You need to move. You don't have to run on the fire ground, but you need to move with purpose to get things done. Tired of seeing just guys goofing off on the fire ground is about what, and I don't mean our guys, I'm talking just the stuff you see out there. So, whatever you do, do it with all your heart, your mind, and your body and soul. Be cautious of what you watch on social media, because your eyes are the window gate to your soul. What you see, if you put garbage in, it's going to be garbage in your little computer, in your brain. Understand what you're looking at. There's so much stuff. This holiday season we saw, it's more and more and more the ChatGPT generated pictures. And if you look at them, you can see that it might be the front of somebody's fire truck, but it's actually, there's something else in the background that's not right, or it's a little bit off. And again, I think they're doing that intentionally so that you can kind of get comfortable with it, and it's in your life in every aspect. And it was funny, we were looking at something the other night, and it said, bridge collapse in West Virginia. Okay, well then you look, and the fire trucks that were all on the other side of the bridge were all European. It wasn't even the actual picture. So, we're in the reality business, and the people expect perfection, and they deserve it. So we need to work for excellence, and we'll work towards perfection. We have Nick come up, we're going to do some awards. This first service award is for a gentleman that came to our department and has just taken us to a whole nother level. The amount of work that it accomplished this year, we would not have got the new building up like we wanted to. The amount of dirt that was moved and everything, he's involved in every aspect of what happens to the benefit of the company. And he's agreed this year to come on as our vice president and help lead our organization. Bill Warnock.
Oh, this is nice as real. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Look at that, huh? Touch on the back. Touch on the back. Oh, yeah.
This is presented to Austin Kaiser for 15 years of service. Steve Pietrowski for 10 years service. Tyler Fink for completing his Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 certification. This next award of appreciation is to Van Gordon's Towing. We had an incident with one of our trucks back there in the summer where it had a mechanical issue. We called them up on a Sunday, came right out, took the truck to the shop, and when we called him up to ask him, you know, what do we owe? And he said nothing. And you know, small businesses are the backbone of the community, and they can't afford to do stuff like that without the support of the community behind them. And very appreciative of what John and his family did for us. This is a Green Cross Award that's presented from Hearst Rescue Equipment when the Jaws of Life is used in a rescue situation to rescue somebody from a vehicle. Steve Pietrowski. Final award that we have is to Lake Township for the continued support that we have. This year we were able to get the building project underway thanks to a $40,000 increase in funding or the funding for it partially from Lake Township, and we just appreciate the partnership that we share with them. At this time, I'd like to ask Steve to come up, and we're going to hear from our elected officials.